even if you like try to design like the most fair system and like you want to pay people the same way, there's still like some small things that you may want to take into account to not create like a second-class citizens and for your employees to have the same experience. And I'm just going to walk you through examples, so this will be easier to understand. A popular problem for international teams is like fees to receive the salary. So imagine two people, one person is United States and one person like a contractor in Brazil. You want to pay them both 5K, right? You say, like, okay, I want them to have the same compensation. The person in US, they're just going to get the 5K straight to their bank account. But very often, like the contractor in Brazil, the 5K would go to some kind of like e-wallet. And to withdraw this with like PayPal or like Wise or something, they have to pay a fee. It can be like $50. But also if they decide to like make the currency exchange, a lot of providers, they also like add a markup, right? So even if you wanted to do everything by book and like you wanted to be really nice for your employees and really fair, and you both paid them like 5K, your contractor in Brazil will have a different experience and will not receive as much money as like the person in US. So just because they based in different country and have a different type of contract, they will be hit by like, lower salary basically. Pay debts, that's very popular. Imagine you're the person running payroll, right? So like it's like 10th day of the month and you want to pay your team. You log into like your domestic system, you pay your employees in United States, you log to like any other system used for like international team and you pay them. And for your point of view, like you being fair, like you're paying them on the same day, right? The thing is like the international payment can take more time, right? So even if you like schedule the payment on the same day, they will receive money like different days, right? And it's like that's not the same experience, right? Like some people like get paid sooner than others. And I don't think like many people realize that that's maybe a problem for like your team outside the United States. Next thing, like process. This is more true for contractors, but many companies, the payroll lives in HR. So like the payroll is run by the HR team and, like this is managed by like this team. But international contractors, they much closer to vendors and they live in like the finance team, right? So the payments to international contractors are run by like accounts payable. And they go through different processes. Like they have to send an invoice, has to be like approved. There's like 10 days for like payments. And this just creates like completely different experience when like one person just paid and it's done quickly and the other person has to like send invoice and like go through approvals and can wait like 2 or like maybe 2 weeks, for example, to get pay. So also just like just think like if by accident like you don't have like those two people, even if you like in your head they may be like both the same, like both core team members, they may have like different experience because the payments them live in different systems and teams. Expenses, that's interesting one. Imagine you have an employee, they invited a client to a dinner, they paid €100, and on this day, the €100 was like $121. Then, like a few weeks later, the finance team processed the expense. They see that it costed like $121. So they're going $120 back to an employee. But because of the currency exchange rate, this is now €90, right? So basically the employee, they paid €100, they received like €90. And this is because of like the process that just doesn't take into account the currencies of the expenses. Another thing is like type of contracts. So often if you hire contractors, they may have like a different terms in the contract. So for example, employees, they all have like 3 months notice period, but like contractors got a month, right? Or they have access to different benefits. So that's also something to look at, that like maybe by accident, like your contractors may have like a different experience than like your employees. But just be careful, because like treating your contractors as employees is also not a great solution, right? Like if you're going to like treat your contractors as employees and like, give them benefits, like paid holidays and everything, then like you are in a risk of like misclassification. So I would just be a little bit careful, like, throwing benefits to your team. There are ways to address this, but this may be a topic for like another webinar, because it's also like the misclassification is like not that straightforward. Perfect. So that's everything. It's just a short note that like we can support hiring employees and contractors in like all the countries and like all the issues I mentioned, like the equitable experience. Like that's something we really care about. Like, and we try to address everything with our product. But I just see that we're running out of time. So thank you so much. And now it's time for questions.